Is gaming dead? Or is it dying? Is it just AAA games and the mainstream video game industry that is truly suffering? I want to speak about the current state of gaming video games as a whole as of today. I wanted to throw my hat in this arena because I'm very passionate about this topic. And I know that this is not a video in my usual style. I'm trying something different. I think 4 times to 10 times a year. I want to be able to come and deliver a video to you guys where I don't write an entire script. I kind of speak off the mind. I might have some bullet points and notes and things of that nature. So hopefully that's not a problem. Do my best to speak as clearly and concisely as I can, but I might stutter or make a mistake or mispronounce something. So just bear with me for that. And the main reason why I'm making this video is because I believe that I have a unique point of view, a perspective that I think could be valuable to a lot of people, because I am very aware of all the things that people complain about when it comes to modern gaming, and I've been aware of it for a while. However, I don't really run into these issues or really have to engage with these problems because of the type of gamer I am. I've always been a kind of lonely warrior gamer, not super online, and I'm going to explain my origin and kind of what I'm into just to kind of give like a foundational piece to build upon as I'm talking about all these things so you understand me a little bit better. And by the way, there's no right way necessarily to play video games in my opinion. Like, listen, you play what you want, the way that you want, how you want, and you keep it pushing. But yes, let's kind of talk because I walk the walk in a sense. Whereas people will say, hey, vote with your wallet, do this, don't do that, don't support this. And I've always been very cool walking my own path and just doing things the way that I want. The only real AAA franchise that I still look forward to, if I'm being quite honest, is The Legend of Zelda. And Tears of the Kingdom was a disappointing game to me. I still think it's fantastic, but I think it's a frustrating, really good game, if that makes sense. That's where I'm at with it at this point in time. But Breath of the Wild is not only one of my 5 favorite video games of all time, I think it's the greatest Zelda game that's ever been created. I'm also just gonna briefly at some point have my top 30 video games just kind of on here going up and down. Might give you an idea of what I'm into and how I like the game, but let's kind of get into my origins, so to speak. I was born in 1993, February, so I'm 31 of today, so I've been around since the early 90s. So anything from like the 80s, anything before that, like Pong and some of these really old systems, I wasn't really around for that. And by the time I was a child, the arcade era had died out, though there were spots like Palladium in Toronto where you can go and get an arcade experience. And I think we have like a Dave and Buster's or something like that where you can go play video games arcade style with the machines and stuff. But that wasn't really it. The first system I ever owned was the Nintendo 64 that was bought by my grandma for me, and boy do I love that system. I still have it. I'm literally looking at it right now. Like, I really love that system. I think it's incredible. I think it's great. I think the best way to describe me as a gamer currently is I'm just an indie merchant for the most part. Like, when I think about all the games that I really love and hold in high dear, I think of things like Katana Zero, I'm thinking of Celeste, I'm thinking of video games like Iconoclast, I'm thinking of Hollow Knight, I'm thinking of Cuphead, I'm thinking of video games along the lines of Murder by Numbers, Fantasy Strike, I suppose Rivals of Aether counts, though I think that's pretty well known by this point. Enter the Gungeon, Soccer Story. I'm looking at my Switch right now. Nexomon Extinction. I got Shantae, Ori the Blind Forest, Blossom Tales 1 and 2. Chained Echoes, one of my favorite games ever. Sense, Spiritfarer, like just a bunch of indie games. Like, I'm just an indie merchant for the most part. Because I found since 2015, and I believe that's the year that I was fortunate enough to play Undertale. It really changed how I looked at video games and how I was going about them in terms of buying them, purchasing them, and playing them, and where I played them. I would argue at this point I am about to truly make the jump to becoming a PC gamer. I play most things on my Steam Deck currently, and I feel like the Steam Deck has been a great piece of hardware to kind of bridge the gap between, you know, being a PC gamer and like a console gamer, so to speak. I only have a Nintendo Switch and a PS4 as like my latest systems, and we're gonna talk about Microsoft later. I just was never a Microsoft guy, and I was never a Xbox person. I just wasn't. To the point that when I got an Xbox controller from my friend who got me it to play PC games, the controller was so foreign to me for a long time. Like, I don't even hold Xbox controllers very often. This is not me shitting on Xbox and telling you they're bad or whatever, though we're going to talk about some of the things they're doing currently and how they're messing things up, but just that I didn't have a passing interest. I was a Nintendo kid, I admit it. I was a Nintendo for quite a while, but they lost me in the Wii U era. I just thought that after that I stopped really caring about them in that sense. Like, I'll just take what I want, and I don't even know if I'm going to buy the next system that they have. That being said, here's something that I want to mention. I'll probably circle back to this in some capacity, but I truly believe that one of the most important things about being a gamer, if you want to have like the best experience, is to just be who you are, regardless of the people around you. I literally see kids getting roasted for not having Fortnite skins, and that kid feels a type of way. For better or for worse, I've always marched to the beat of my own drum. I say for better or for worse because me really not caring what other people are doing and thinking has hurt me and has had negative impact on my life sometimes and consequences. But I'm Nia Hemmingz, baby. Through and through, I do what I gotta do the way I want to do it. I am going to be playing Paper Mario on stream at some point. And by the way, seeing me play these games, and these games are on screen visually, and you see, like, you know, the Discord, like, talking, little bubbles, and like chat or like text. That's just my live chat. You can follow me at Paperwork Hemmingz. It should be on the screen right now. And just so you guys know, this is not my main channel. I want it to become my main channel, but Nia Hemmingz, where I speak about Tower of God, Kubera, One Piece, and some other stuff, that's actually my main channel currently. But that being said, sorry, circle back. Video games. I will be playing Paper Mario, the remake that my best friend bought for me because I wasn't gonna buy it. I'll be playing that soon on stream. Now here's the thing: people are like, "Oh, you better not put any stats into HP. You better do like this type of run." And it's like, wait a minute, who told you I wanted to do all that? Oh, Naya, you're playing Miles Morales? Yo, put it on the hardest difficulty. But who told you I was interested in playing on the hardest difficulty? I'm not. Nia Hemmingz is not a Soulsborne's merchant. I've had Bloodborne since 2014 and never played it. Elden Ring, I do want to try someday. I've heard I would like it because if I get stuck on a boss, I can go somewhere else, and I do like to explore, and I like good open world games. But me fighting a boss that I can't beat 80 times and then I beat it once is not my idea of a good time. But people are like, don't you feel great when you overcome a challenge? And it's like, I overcome challenges in my life all the time. I was an athlete. I'm still somebody who works out all the time. I'm trying to push my body to be as physically capable as it can be, as strong as it can be, as durable as it can be, as fast as it can be, explosive as it can be. I've overcome losing my identity as an athlete because I was transitioning into the real world and having to really adopt more academia-related traits, skills, and abilities. I had to overcome that. I had a lot of deep-rooted issues psychologically that I'm not even necessarily all the way done with, like, you know, mental health stuff. I got to overcome that. I don't care about that in video games. Granted, yes, there's a certain type of video game do I like to be challenged by, and that's either, I think, probably two categories. Video game franchises in which I am so deeply ingrained into, I know what I'm doing without us needing to really like talk about it or really tutorialize it or have to go in order of difficulty. By which I mean this. I do not like Kingdom Hearts anymore. They really lost me in Kingdom Hearts 3. I think that game was awful, though I had my issues before that. But I've been playing Kingdom Hearts since the first one, and I played them all. I'm talking Chain of Memories. I'm talking the 3DS, all of those ones. The stupid phone game, I played all of it. Fire Emblem, I've been playing for so long. Yeah, I'm going to just play it on hard. Hard is my default normal because I'm so familiar with the systems. Even if you change and tweak certain things and add a gimmick, I know what I'm doing. The second one, I openly admit, platformers. I'm a platforming merchant. I like to jump to the left, to the right, up and down, diagonal. I like that shit. It's fun. Celeste? Oh boy, I love Celeste. I don't think the Celeste main campaign is hard unless you try to get all the strawberries, but I think the B-side and C-side tapes were challenging. I think a few levels in Cuphead were challenging. When I play a lot of games on Super Mario Maker 1 and 2, I like the really hard levels and the speed run levels. Like I like to challenge myself in a platforming sense. I say that to say you cannot shame me or bully me or make me feel a type of way about the type of gamer I am or how I decide to play a video game. I'd recently started kind of replaying a little bit of the Battleman Network games just to see if I really like them. I have the Max Buster on. I'm not doing these random battles with all these stupid viruses while I try to figure out this insane puzzle that doesn't tell me anything with bad translation that throws me off because it wasn't translated properly. I don't care. That's baby easy mode. First of all, I've already beaten this game on Game Boy Advance years ago. Second of all, what the fuck do I have to prove to anybody? I'm a hardcore gamer. Play the game a lot. Difficulty. Oh my god, you got such big nuts and balls, man. You're the fucking coolest dude. Like, shut up, bro. I don't care. I will play how I want, and you can say, "Oh, you're playing it on easy." Yes. Do something about it. You're gonna whoop my ass? No. So be quiet. It's mad annoying when people are like telling you how you should play a game. Oh, you played Elden Ring and you use this build? Am I pressing the buttons or you? Who told you to be here? I think a lot of gamers get shamed or bullied, or they start to feel a type of way about how somebody may perceive a game they like, a character they like, a play style they like. And I'll be honest, I've been on the opposite end before. I'll tell you this one thing about me. I'm so cool, like, yo, do what you gotta do, play it the way you gotta play it, whatever. But I don't believe you're playing Fire Emblem if the units don't stay dead. That's not Fire Emblem to me. You're playing a different game. That's Water Crest. Water logo. Like, you're not playing Fire Emblem in my opinion. I think that's an integral core part of what made it unique and what made it stand out in the tactical strategy kind of space. The same way Disgaea, it's like the insane grinding you can do if you're a grinding merchant in the item world, and the complete bonkers over the top moves that you can do in Disgaea. A lot of my favorite games, you'd be like, wait a minute, there's not really too much consistency here. Like, this is like an extreme sport, this is a platformer, this is a 3D adventure. And like, the best way for you to understand me is to know that I might love a genre or be beholden to a type of character or archetype or trope, whatever the case is. But that doesn't mean you don't have to execute it. So I'm giving an example just so you understand what I'm saying. I love cyberpunk-ish in general. Like, you could be like, okay, so this new thing is coming out, it's cyberpunk, and I'll be like, shut your sexy lips. You had me at cyberpunk. But that doesn't mean I love everything cyberpunk that I play, watch, or read. I like Ghost in the Shell. I didn't love every version of Ghost in the Shell. I thought the standalone complex was the best version of it. I didn't love Arise. I didn't actually really watch the Scarlett Johansson movie, so I can't comment on that. But I was very excited for Cyberpunk, but I didn't like what I was seeing with what was going on, and thus I decided to decline. I actually do want to still play it at some point. I don't want to get around to it, but you know, it is what it is. But you get my point. Like, I love Psycho-Pass. I think the second season is really, really weak though. And the movie's pretty good. I haven't really watched the other seasons of other films, but like, you get what I'm saying. Like, just because it's cyberpunk doesn't mean I will love it. But just because it's a genre that I don't engage with doesn't mean I won't like it. I'm not really into first and third person shooters. I'm Canadian. I can't shoot, bro. My aim is bad. You're not gonna see me on, like, I think I mentioned earlier, like, I don't play like the Overwatches, even though, or like, you know, I guess even Splatoon, or like. But I've played certain games like the Tomb Raiders. I had fun with Tomb Raiders. I like the BioShock trilogy, Infinite being my favorite. I enjoyed those experiences. To me, the most important thing is execution of ideas. I may not be a person who likes to watch a lot of mecha anime, but I will watch a mecha anime. I will read a good mecha comic book like Mech Cadet Q. I like Toppa Tengen Gurren Lagann. You can't really fit me in a box. I just care if I believe the thing that I'm engaging with, whether I'm reading it, playing it, touching it. I don't know why I said touching it. That sounded so weird. Whether I'm reading it, playing it, watching it, I just care that it's good. To me, that's the most important thing. That doesn't mean there aren't things that I believe have impartial, objective metrics in which you're supposed to be unbiased about. Yes. I think good game design is good game design. If things have weird graphical fidelity, or it's laggy, it's glitchy, yeah, that's objectively not a good thing. I say that to say, I just play what I like, bro. and I don't really care what anyone else thinks. And I think if a lot of gamers adopted this mentality, we wouldn't be where we are today in modern gaming. But I'm an indie guy, and I walk that walk. I put my money where I believe it should go. And I think one of the most important things to say too, when it comes to that, you need to ask yourself, why am I playing video games? Why do you play video games? I play video games to have fun, to unwind, to relax. And honestly, depending on the game, my reasons are different. You need to ask yourself, why do you play video games? Not why the internet does, not why your favorite content creators and streamers play. Why do you play video games? And don't let anybody tell you how you're supposed to play your video games on your consoles with the money you work hard to get and you spend it on. I'm a visual novel merchant. I love visual novels, bro. But I don't actually play that many visual novels. I didn't even realize when I was thinking about it. I'm like, I haven't played that many visual novels in terms of like just different ones. Like franchises, yes, I played every Ace Attorney game. I played every Danganronpa game. I played the 999 Zero Escape series. I played Valhalla and Coffee Talk episode 1 and 2. But when I really think about like Fate Stay and stuff like that, but like I haven't really played too many. Like the number is probably at like 12, but I love the genre. So, and some people are like, bro, I don't want to play this shit. I'm just reading. It's like a fake interactive graphic novel, and it's like, all right then, so don't play it. Like, stop feeling a type of way because somebody feels a type of way about what it is that you're doing. And I think we can move forward with that. I think with that, I can stop the preamble work when it comes to me, myself, and kind of how I look at it. Oh, the last thing I want to say real quick is how I judge video games. What do I think makes games good, and like how do I grade them? This might sound a little weird, but I'm not a quality, like a lot of people like to grade a game on how much time they spend in it. For me, it's how I spent my time. I don't care about playing an 80-hour game where I didn't enjoy 40 hours of it. If the game is 6 hours and I enjoyed every second, minute, and hour of that game, that's a good game to me. I'm not going to criticize a cozy game that's supposed to be a relaxing farming game for not having combat. That's not the point of the game. I'm going to judge you on what you marketed yourself on and what it is I believe you were trying to achieve. This is a first-person shooter. The gun feels good. The feedback's good. The reticle moves well. The sensitivity, blah, 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 whoop-de-whoop, blah, blah, blah. The guns, yada, yada. I don't really play shooters, so I don't really know what y'all are looking for. But my point is, if I feel like they executed those things well, I think it's a good game. I also will say this. This is a very personal thing about mine. I'm much harder on games I spent money on. I think Sonic Forces is not a good game. I played it for free. I have no smoke with that game. It's like a 6 out of 10, but I have no smoke. I didn't spend any money on it. I remember when this Avatar game for Korra came out by Platinum and everybody was ripping it a new asshole. And I'm like, I paid like $10 for this. This shit is fire. What are we talking about? Yes, if I paid like $79.99 CAD for this, I would have been mad, but I didn't. So I'm coolin'. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So anyways, I think with that, I've explained to you, for the most part, what type of gamer I am, I guess what I'm into, how I judge it, how I look at things. And I guess I would say my relationship with the gamer community is I keep it at an arm's length. I'm very aware of a lot of things that are happening, but I don't really engage with the discourse. I just kind of stay to myself in my little fortress of solitude, if you will. And now, let's move on to the next section of this discussion. Thank you for bearing with on my preamble. Let's get it. What is wrong with the video game industry currently in our present time? I find this question fascinating. Because if you had asked me, I probably would have given you some lip service to like, oh yeah, AAA, they're doing a bunch of nonsense. The mainstream's doing a bunch of nonsense. Some corporate greed. This, that, and the third. But I don't told you nothing because I'm having a great time. I constantly hear people saying stuff like video game is dead. Video games are dying. Why do I feel bored when I'm playing video games? And I like listen and I'm like, bro, you're 30 now with a child. You don't have all the time in the world to dedicate to video games. Your relationship with it has changed as you've matured as a human being. It's so funny to me where it's like, they're like, how come it's not the same? How come I can't just game for 24 hours nonstop anymore and just love everything? Because you have responsibilities, dude. You're an adult. I went through this phase, but it was never like, oh, gaming really sucks. I hate it. It was like, damn, I have to be even more mindful about where I put my time and money into these games because I don't have that. I'm not 16 anymore where I come home from school and all I want to do is hop on the game. And even back then, I didn't have time like that because I had practice and football, by which I mean soccer. And my mom did not let me play video games during the week. It was Friday, Saturday, Sunday after my homework was done, though I did find some loopholes because she didn't really know how chords worked. So I swapped out like GameCube for 64 chords kind of thing, and she thought she had them, but she didn't. So when she was at work, I'd just play GameCube. But anyways, funny little anecdotal story there as a side tangent. But yes, I don't necessarily see a problem, but there is a problem. I just would argue my experiences have been great and fine. Everything that I've played from 2015 to today has been gas, except maybe a demo or two, I suppose. So what's wrong with gaming? Well, let's talk about some of the kind of generic stuff that's been mentioned a lot, and now I'll just get to the other things. So loot boxes is a big one. I don't think I've really experienced anything loot box related except for maybe Injustice 2. I don't know if that counts for like armor pieces and stuff, but I never like bought anything or anything like that. I didn't grind for loot boxes or epic gear. I just played it as a fighting game. So loot boxes suck, and they're random and they're things that make stuff really grindy. Gacha mechanics. This is one that I could probably say I've had also very minimal interaction with, but I'm gonna tell you something really crazy. I loved the Xeno series, I guess you could say, because I like Xenogears, I like Xenosaga, episode 1, 2, and 3. I love Xenoblade Chronicles, the first one. I actually really like Xenoblade Chronicles X. I have not played 3 yet, despite having owned it. I'll get back to why I haven't. But Xenoblade Chronicles 2 pissed me off because it had a built-in gacha mechanic in a game I paid money for. I kid you not, there's a point where I didn't play for a long time because I bought the expansion pass, and I did like 99 rolls in a row. I had like some rare common cores, some common cores, or whatever. I only got like 1 or 2 special blades. I didn't get Cosmos or anything that I wanted, and I think in that moment, I think I just speed ran to the end and gave the game back. I didn't even play the Torna Golden Age expansion. I just watched all the cutscenes. I didn't play it. I hate gacha shit. I don't like gambling. I don't have a gambling bone in my body. The first time I went to a casino and I made $5, I cashed out. I bought like 2 junior chickens, and that was a phenomenal night for me. And what I don't like about it too is I think it's very predatory on children, younger people, and people with terrible impulse control. I have phenomenal impulse control. So this stuff doesn't really affect me, but like playing Genshin Impact and it's like, oh, I hope I get my JPEG waifu. Ah! And you spend like $200 to not, what is wrong with you? Don't do this. Honestly, a lot of you guys that do this actually have a lot of money, so I'm not a rich individual in any capacity, so I probably couldn't do this. And honestly, I wouldn't do it if I had the money anyways, but I'm sure some of you guys will hear me like, oh, you're broke. And yeah, you're right, but I don't want to engage with that kind of thing. Then I think the next thing would be, I think they're called live services, or it's those games that they always add like an expansion, or you do a bunch of like missions with your friends to get loot and gear and upgrade and things of that nature. Games as a live service, is that what it's called? I don't think I've ever played one. Suicide Squad, the Justice League. I don't know. Fortnite is not a live service game, is it? It's a battle royale. I don't know what else falls into that category right now. Helldivers, is that one? Because I've heard good things about Destiny. I think is one. Like I've never played those. I don't play these games, so I don't have to. I don't deal with this. And I remember when Overwatch came out, I actually did play the beta. I forgot I did play the beta. I picked Zarya, the Russian girl, the buff Russian chick with the barrier and pink hair. And I actually would do the thing that people memed on. Like I didn't really shoot or help. I just kind of pushed the payload because I didn't know what I was doing. But I remember when that game was like, oh, you have to be online all the time to play it. And I'm like, so what if my internet cuts out? What if my internet is slow one day? What if I'm in an area or a place where internet just isn't really that strong at all? I don't have internet. I just can't play this game. Even if I want to play a single player experience or by myself, I will never buy a game that does that. That doesn't make any sense to me. If a company is making a game that you have to be online all the time to play and something happens and it shuts down, let's say the CEO is a freaky ass nigga, he's a 69 god, and now they're in controversy and now goes bankrupt. I just paid $69.99, $79.99 for this game or whatever that I can't play no more because the server is done or gone because somebody in the company was a maniac, or for the many of plethora of reasons it can go down. I would never buy a game like that. I'm not doing that. So I don't have this issue in that sense. I never really engaged with it. And now I want to get something very, very interesting to me. Is season and battle passes. Well, I guess season passes are a little different because usually for that it's like characters and stuff, but battle passes where it's like your little like your what are they called in Fortnite? Your V-Bucks and your keychain to put on your gun. Bro, video games are not homework. You should not have to pay for something and then scramble within a time limit to be able to get all the things that you just paid for. Oh, this new aqua colored custom character color. Oh, this new gun. Oh, this new visor. Like, so you paid for a season pass, and if you don't do it in a month, you can't even get everything. Like, why do that to yourself? Maybe you like the grind. That just sounds tedious to me. Why would I play something tedious? This is not school, this is not work, this is supposed to be a leisure activity where I'm having fun and enjoying myself. I'm not putting in time and effort to do that. I also personally never really had to deal with that. Microtransactions. Microtransactions are one of those things that I don't actually think is inherently a bad thing. It's how obsessive and greedy some of you companies are to the point your game is like ADHD. I'll just speak for myself here. If I open a fucking app and as soon as I open it, you're playing me a video that I didn't ask to see or watch or play, I'm upset. If pop-ups are constantly like, oh, I signed into this game, boom! If you roll today, you get 13% more chance to get this character. All right, close that. Boom! Did you know that if you roll this roulette, oh my God, leave me. I opened the game and I can't even just go to my like character profile. You're bombarding me with pop-ups? Oh, I hate it here. I'm not doing this. Turn it off. The only game that I ever had to kind of deal with that with, honestly, is something that I played very recently called Flash Party.
Behold.
It's a masterpiece, James. Complete, comprehensive.
It's like a mobile Smash Brothers platform fighter that got turned into like a PC game. I won't lie to you. The 6 hours I put in were mad fun, but I don't like ADHD games. I only like TikTok and stuff like that, where it's like, and Twitch's new mobile app, when I open it, it plays a stream from somebody I don't want to watch. Who asked you for this? I hate algorithms so goddamn much because you don't know what I want, algorithm. I'm different. I'm different, bro. You can't predict what I'm trying to see. So there's that, right? So microtransactions, but just don't buy them if you don't like them. But I get how annoying they can be and how they pop up. And then another one, in my opinion, is that games cost way too much to make now. Games are becoming way too much money to literally make, to the point that even if it makes a profit, the shareholders and some of the corporate people on the business side of things are not happy with it. Because from my understanding, remember I mentioned earlier, I'm not a businessman. I'm not particularly super financially literate. So when I speak about these things, I really have a surface level understanding of it. So take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. But I spent an entire week getting ingredients and cups and a table and signs and jugs to make the best lemonade and lemonade stand ever. In that week, it cost me $200 to get all the material, all the things I just mentioned, and made lemonade. I sold lemonade for a week. I made $500, which means I made a $300 profit. That's not good enough in the gaming industry anymore. They want more. They want like billion-dollar investments. They want a game that even after you pay a flat price, there is still ways to extract more funds from its player base. And that's not a concept that I thought about until literally just now. Like, wait a minute. So many games, I pay something once and it's mine. I do what I want with the game. With so many of these games, because of microtransactions and various battle passes and whatnot, there is still ways to keep extracting money from its player base well after they may have already paid a price for it. Maybe it's free to play, which is a little bit different. By the way, I've heard a lot of games have been doing annoying ads, like in 2K or like in racing games, like Rolex ads and like Pepsi and stuff. Product placement's always been something that I've mildly noticed in video games. I can't say that I've personally noticed that in anything that I'm playing. So again, another issue I don't really have to deal with. But I think for like a free-to-game play, it makes more sense than a game that you already paid money for. But yes, games that cost a lot to make. I can see clouds, pores, and individual hair fibers, and god damn it, I could see Tifa's titty vein. Like, it's so detailed, but it's like, it takes like 6 years to make. It costs $100 million, and then even if you actually do make a little profit, it's not enough. So is it worth it? I have a question for everybody listening to me, and I really want you to give me your truest and realest answer. I'm not mad at any answer. Think about your favorite franchise of video game, and let's say the next installment is coming. With the next installment, I'm gonna use Legend of Zelda because that's the only one I could think of as AAA, right? So let's say the Legend of Zelda Unga Bunga Inga Dinga is coming out. Now, there's two pathways here. The next Legend of Zelda graphically doesn't look any better than, let's say, Tears of the Kingdom. Maybe they use a different style, but in terms of like graphical fidelity and performance and the way it looks, it's pretty similar. But it takes Zelda to a whole new stratosphere from a gameplay standpoint, from a narrative standpoint, from sound design. Like they did a lot of other things and to push the game forward more. Lore, world building, characters, new characters, maybe a new region or something, and you're like, wow, this is such a great stepping stone from what we've done before. Now here's the alternative path. You're about to get the greatest looking Zelda game you have ever seen in your goddamn life. It costs $500 million to make. Link swings his sword and you can see the metal shine off like if you had the Master Sword in your hand in real life. But it has done no innovating. It looks way better than any Zelda game you've ever played, but it doesn't play any differently. Nothing is new. You still have to find 900 million, thousand, trillion Korok seeds. Your weapon still breaks after you shake it twice. Which option is more appealing to you? Is my question. I don't think making games this expensive with this many resources and this many famous people is sustainable long term. The bubble will burst if it's not already bursting or if it hasn't already popped. So I think they cost too much to make. I think we should scale back. I think games should stay the same level of what they look like or look a little worse. Because honestly, from PS3, I guess maybe not. Let me not say that. But I agree with this. From PS3 to PS5 or maybe Xbox 360 to the current Xbox system. I don't know. What is it? One Series S, X? I can't keep up. Has graphics really gotten that much better? Especially from like the PS4 or the 8th to 9th generation consoles. I don't think they really have. I can be like, yeah, it's marginally better, but it's not a humongous jump like from 2D style 16-bit to 3D polygons. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's not a huge jump to me like that. Video games have stopped impressing me from its realism in that sense for a while. I think games that are more artistically creative happen to be more viable. I'm thinking of games like Cuphead with the like Steamboat Willie, Mickey Mouse, bounce and stretch. I'm thinking of a game like Gris. I'm thinking of a video game along the lines of Battle Chef Brigade, like hand-drawn stuff, like a lot of cool games that have really dope, cool art styles that's not necessarily 3D or even high-bit graphics, though I do like the high-bit. I think Sea of Stars, oh my god damn, holy fuck, Sea of Stars sprite work is beautiful. The lighting is incredible. I love that game. Like, oh my god, that game looks incredible. I think Chained Echoes looks incredible, but I'm a dinosaur, so I like my older graphics, all things considered. Bomber or Cyberpunk is one of my favorite video games, and I play it all the time. It's very therapeutic for me. I can just throw it on and skate around, and it has that kind of Y2K, you know, early 3D gen kind of graphics. I love it. What else is a problem within the gaming industry? I mentioned this before, but I think a lot of you guys care too much about how much time you spend in the game. This game's only 10 hours. It's not worth this much money. But what if it's the best 10 hours of your life? Oh, the main campaign for this is only 30 and you're charging me full price? I don't think I want the game. Like, I think that's a very myopic and obtuse way to simply judge video games. Like, oh, how much time am I going to spend playing it? Instead of how much of my time did the creative team, developers, and publishers actually respect? Where instead of making this a 60-hour odyssey, it's 25 hours, but it's paced so well. There's no real wasted time, and you had a great give me a great 25-hour experience over okay, decent slash mediocre 50 to 60-hour one. I mentioned earlier that I haven't beaten Xenoblade Chronicles 3 yet. I haven't played it yet. You know why? I know I need about 80 hours plus for that game. I just don't have the time for it, and my backlog is kind of crazy. So I'm just playing other things in the time being, like Pizza Tower, and I recently had beat like Coffee Talk Episode 2, and replayed River City Girls 2 finally. Beat that with some of my homies. Like, just stuff like that, man. Beat 'em ups we've been playing. A lot of cool ish. So now we got to get to the layoffs. I think I've mentioned everything that I wanted to mention. So like time spent, gotcha, gambling, tedious games to play, the prices are too much, live service, loot boxes. I want to get to the layoffs because, man, it hurts. It hurt me to see the studio that made Hi-Fi Rush just be like, no, you're done ski. And let me tell you how I felt personally attacked when Roll 7 got shut down. Ollie Ollie, Ollie Ollie 2, Ollie Ollie World especially, and Roller Drone are such great fucking games, bro. I love Ollie Ollie World. It's one of my 30 favorite video games of all time. It hurt me to see Roll 7 go the way that it did. These are critically acclaimed, well-made, charming fucking video games with the like extreme sports in it, because you rollerblade in one, you skateboard in the other. Because I became the hyped one, the skate wizard. The gnarliest dude in Radlandia. Like, bro, I can't believe they did this to these studios. And some of these studios, by their own words, were incredibly successful and profitable by any metric, all metrics to the company. Hi-Fi Rush. Microsoft said this about Hi-Fi Rush. That studio got taken down. There's a lot of firings and layoffs, because the thing that hurts me the most and the thing that I hate the most about a lot of these huge conglomerates and companies and corporations is when they start to bleed money, it's the worker bees that always have to take the fall. They have to fall on the sword. The background designer, maybe you're just a janitor in this company or something of the sort, a paper pusher, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's like the CEO or the manager or like the front office high-ranking people. They won't lose a cent. They gonna make their millions or high six figures. But you, the person who created this character that everyone loves, you're fired. Bye. And I think it's very malicious and terrible, and I hate it. And I don't know what the answer is, but I do think that maybe if we put our money where our mouths are, maybe things could be better. But I don't know that that's the only solution. So, is that it? Video games are just going to go to the wayside and die? I don't think so. So where do we go from here? Where do we go? And I say that because I remember when people were saying single player games were dying, and we got a new renaissance of that. So just keep that in mind. I think a lot of things have to change, but I don't think a lot of it will. But here's how I am looking at it. We need a new normal. And what I believe can become the new normal, like AA independent companies and independent and indie games becoming and replacing what AAAs used to be. So instead of us constantly being beholden to, I'm going to say the big three for the time being. So Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, and whatever it is they're doing and publishing on their systems on their time, though I know that you can play pretty much PS5 games on anything. Fuck them. Go find a random studio in Brazil with 4 dudes who have been working on a game for like 6 years. They probably have something super dope for you to play and try. I promise you. I promise you. I think AAAs will always be here, but they really have to figure out where their current place in gaming is, and are they going to scale down with graphics? I heard some game was called a quadruple A game. Like, what does that even mean? So yeah, man, I don't think gaming is dying. I think the big three suck. I think Nintendo is awful and very anti-consumer, though from my understanding, they're doing the best right now, but that's just because of Nintendo and parents not knowing any better and just buying their kids anything Nintendo-wise. Sony's been messing up a lot. Heard that they're in a really rough place with like the PSN sign-ins for Steam games and stuff like that too, and some stuff in certain specific regions. And then Microsoft has apparently admitted that they've kind of lost the console war. And I think they're going the way of Sega on a very personal level. I could be wrong. They might drop the Xbox 1080, suck my dick, and it's fire. But what's wrong with me? But I think that they're gonna go to Sega and just kind of like make games and sell it to all the other systems. I think Sony and Nintendo will be the major two, which does leave a vacuum for another big player to maybe step up and become one of the big three, if you will. So we'll see if that happens, but I don't know that I care about that. And also, let me know if this is correct. It is my understanding that Sony as a company requires PlayStation to thrive and be wealthy and successful. Microsoft, I've been told, or some of my research has indicated, they don't need Xbox to thrive. Is that true? Let me know if you have the answer to that question. But moving forward, I don't think video games are dying. I truly don't. I think if you are being yourself, you use your voice, and you really vote with your wallet, and I get why that's scary, by the way, because imagine if I didn't buy Paper Mario Sticker Star, hoping that we'd go back to forum for Thousand Year Door. They might just be like, oh, nobody bought this, nobody wants it, we'll just never make another Paper Mario game again. But I am personally willing to take that risk. And this is another part that I want to get to, which I want to leave more towards the end of the video. FOMO, fear of missing out, and how a lot of these companies make money off the fear of missing out. I don't care if I miss out. I don't. You can't get me to be so scared. I'm going to play this game every day, specifically at 6 a.m. to do this one quest line incrementally so I can get this costume. I don't care to have the costume. I'll play on the default skin if I have to. Stop being so afraid to miss something like that. Stop letting them prey on you. Limited time. The only way you can get this gun loadout is if you... No one cares. This is not a job we have to sign in every day. What the fuck is this? I think that part is major. So think about that if you're a person who ends up doing that. But secondly, bear with me because I'm going to make this its own specific video essay. That'll be the next one that comes out. But I've been thinking about the concept of intellectual properties and IPs and legacies. And I think about how so many millennial writers and I guess maybe Gen Z writers just poop on the shoulders of giants in which they are standing on to create something. Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad, the Justice League. Oh my God. Like completely pooping on 4 previous entries of an established lore and canon and world with the nonsense that they did with Kill the Justice League. Didn't play it, didn't want it, not interested in your edgy superhero bullshit. I like to save cats from trees, honestly. And then like the millennial writing just being awful and terrible. I guess I should just say this really quick, a quick tangent. I'm gonna circle back to the IP thing. Politics, using games as a political pawn, and the culture war. That stuff is also annoying and I think could be messing with the video game industry in some capacity. Whereas you're going to have like Ben Shapiro or some leftist on some program talking about this and the boobs or the trans flag, like it's so annoying and tired. And a lot of the times I wish you guys would just ignore them and not give them any engagement on either. I don't care where you lean politically, by the way, because I don't have a political affiliation at all. I don't. Fucking hate everyone. But the point that I'm trying to make is you realize they don't know what they're talking about a lot of the time. They're just trying to rile up the audience. They're speaking to and around people that are not their constituents to their fan bases who are angry about certain things. So if you're a more left-leaning person and for some reason a game removed the BLM pin or something, you're going to speak to the audience that resonates with that. Let's say you're a more right-leaning person and it's like, well, why the trans flag here instead of the good old American flag, USA. I'm Canadian, by the way, so this has nothing to do with me. I'm not American. Like, and they talk through and around people to their fan base. So just like, it's a waste of time. Leave them alone. They're not talking about. I saw a bunch of videos and tweets talking about Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door remake is woke. They made a character transgender. And if you have been plugged into the Paper Mario community or 1,000-Year Door at all, it has been in common knowledge. I've known this since like 2006, my boy. In the original Japanese version of the game, Vivian is a transgender and or cross-dresser, depending on how your viewpoint is. So the Shadow Sirens actually don't call her Plug Ugly. They like make fun of the fact that she's not one of them, the sisters. It's a brother, quote unquote. They did not make that character like that. That's how the character always was. But North America and some other regions probably got changes because maybe they thought it was weird for whatever, different time period. Like, shut the fuck up. So please, to the best of your ability, try to remove a lot of the larger political commentary and culture war nonsense when you get into this. But the IP thing, I was thinking about this with Star Fox. I don't think we need Star Fox. And even if you're a big Star Fox fan, I challenge you to stop caring about Star Fox. Play the games that you like already. If you have 64, the NES one, the Star Fox 2 that came out in 2017, maybe you like me, you like Assault. Shit, maybe you like Dinosaur Planet. I'm not mad at you for that. Play your fake Zelda, Dinosaur Planet, Star Fox. Maybe you like Zero or Command. Just keep playing those because I think there's been so many incredible spiritual successors to Star Fox. On-rail, spacey shooters. We got Night Shift Galaxy coming. There's a video game Simi just showed me. I'm going to have it on screen here because I don't remember what it's called. I played Phoenix Squadron. I played First Squadron. First Squadron Phoenix is coming soon. That looks incredible. I played 2 levels of X Zodiac. Bro, I don't even care about Star Fox right now. And I realized this can be a very, very thing that's personal to me. Like maybe you love Mario. You love Rosalina. You love Gino or something. You just cannot detach yourself from the Mushroom Kingdom IP, or you just love Sonic so much. I love Shadow. That's my boy. But I got things like Spark the Electric Jester and other speed games that I can play. And if that means I never get to play Shadow again, so be it. Because I have games where I still have Sonic Adventure 2 battle. I can be Shadow. I'm the coolest. I can still do that. I can go back. And I never have a problem going back. I challenge you to think about an IP you care about to the high heavens. I don't care if it's Star Wars, Kingdom Hearts, some Disney property. Detach yourself from it as much as you can. It gets easier every time you have to do it. It hurt me when I started to fall out in love with Danganronpa and things like Kingdom Hearts. But I got over it. And there's other games that emulate that style or were inspired by those that I can play. And it's like, yeah, I can't be Riku and Aqua, who I think are awesome, but this new character is dope. I'm going to give you the example I'm really thinking of. Paper Mario. Dog, I love Vivian. I love so many characters in those games. Shit. Blumiere? Count Black? Yo, dog. They have some phenomenal characters. Give me Leaf, Kabu, and V from Bug Fables. That trio was better than anything I experienced in any of those games. And even if they weren't better, it's different. And I love what they do. I love how they interact. I love how they go about their adventure. I don't have to play another Paper Mario game again. I'm cool. I'm okay with letting it go. I got stuff like Born of Bread, and I think it's called The Escape from the Ever After or Ever After Inc. That's coming in a Paper Mario style. That looks really cool. Like, I challenge you to think about those games. Go find their kind of spiritual successors and the companies and indie corporations that were so inspired by this thing, they made their own version. And it's not just a carbon copy. They've improved upon it. They've added their own love, charm, and flair to it to make it different. Try it out. I'm telling you. We might not even need to be beholden to all of these legacy IPs, brother, sister. and all in between, and others. This is honestly a lot longer than I expected it to be. I clearly had a lot to say, so I'll shut up now because I do want to start writing the script for that IP video and have it out for you guys as soon as possible. But I'll kind of just leave it with this. Just my final thoughts, my conclusion, and then let's move on. Video games to me is not dying. We're in a weird transitional period and there could be a crash. That's not an impossibility. I believe there was a crash in like the 1980s. And I don't know what happens from there. What happens from here. But I know that if we do better, I don't believe Pokemon should be as successful of a corporation and company as it is, especially from the video game standpoint. But it doesn't matter what slop they make and put it out, you pocket monster losers are going to eat it up. And I'm like, bro, I'm going to play some Power World, some Temtem, some Nexomon Extinction. I'm going to play some Coromon. I'm going to play Kindred Fates when it comes out. Like, there's so many other monster tamer and creature collection games that are super dope. I don't care about seeing a Pikachu ever again in my life. And that goes back to the IP talk I was saying. Consider it. You might like the new one more. Just do your best. Put your money where you truly believe it should go. Stop. Oh, this is the thing. The last thing I forgot to talk about. Stop taking something over nothing. Take nothing. If someone came to me and said, hey, Naya, what? Would you rather get a shitty Paper Mario game or no Paper Mario game? Give me none. Not, well, this is the only Paper Mario game I can play. I guess I'm going to play Color Splash and Origami King. No, the fuck I am not. Give me nothing. Well, there's no other new Pokemon games that's in the style like this, so I might as well just get this stupid, buggy, not working game that runs at 1 frame per second in Violet and Scarlet. Give me nothing. I'll take nothing over that. That's a much better alternative to me. Stop letting these companies bully you. We are the customers. The customer's always right. If we don't buy it, it doesn't matter how much they tell you it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. If we don't buy it, they got no market to sell it to. We can change things. I don't know that we can change everything, but there's many things that we can affect. And I'm actually very optimistic about video games right now, more than I am pessimistic. And usually I'm somewhere in the middle because I'm just a realist. And stop being on extremes too, by the way. Try to be a little more even-keeled and centered in some of your takes and opinions. I'm not talking about when you're trolling or messing around or shooting the shit with the boys or the girls. You know, the gal them. So, anyways. I think I've said everything I've had to say. Support indie games. Let me know what you guys thought about this style of video. I would like to do this more often. This will just give me a way to give you guys more content without me having to write out an entire script, because this went for like, I think, well over 40 minutes. So, yeah. Have a great day. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell so you can stay notified. Give me your honest thoughts and opinions on this. I really want the comment section to be popping. I want to read a lot of this. And anything that you think I may have forgotten to touch on, or I was a little off on, or you thought that maybe I could have went a little bit deeper and you have that inside knowledge, because maybe you are a video game designer. Maybe you can code. Maybe you've worked with some of these studios at some point or made a video game. I have not done any of these things. I don't have that experience under my belt to be able to speak on it. So your insight would be extremely valuable. Thank you guys if you got this far. I truly appreciate it. And have yourselves a mighty fine day. Detective Hemmingz Off-Script, Unscripted. I'm not entirely sure what I'm calling this yet. Signing off. Be safe. Take care of yourselves and one another.